Welcome back to the channel, good friends. Brian from Apex Detail. In yesterday's video, if you haven't seen it, I would watch that one first. Hop back and watch the previous video. I demonstrated on glass the motion that some of these polishers make to do the correction on your paint. And it's funny to think of, we're correcting paint when we're removing scratches by making scratches. So we're removing larger scratches by putting smaller scratches into your paint. And that's done by wool fibers or microfiber or foam rubbing up against the paint, abrading it, and cutting or eroding the top layer of your clear coat or single stage. And what I wanted to do, and what I did in this video for that demonstration on glass, is I dyed some of the fibers on this pad, and I'm going to do that demonstration one more time to show how each polisher goes about teaming up with the pad to correct your paint, and you'll be able to see the work that these polishers do. Some it's going to be fascinating if you think about straightening out the lines or making things linear, how far some of these fibers travel on your paint to get work done. I did leave a polisher out yesterday, and I'm going to include that for those that use the forced rotation like the Flex 3401. I do not favor them and hardly ever use them. I don't like the reverse rotation of the Flex. I know the Rupees machine makes a clockwise rotation, which is a little bit better for muscle memory. I just find I'm not comfortable with them. But I'm going to include that today because I know a lot of you guys out there use it. So let's get over to the glass and start the demonstration one more time, and you'll get to see the motion that these polishers make with the pad on it to correct your paint. Okay, we're going to start off with the Rotary. And this pad has short wool fibers, so in reality can be used on any type of polisher, a rotary, a dual action polisher, orbital, or forced rotation. Starting with the Rotary, we'll turn it on. Following the dyed little circle of fibers, you can see the route that the fibers take on the surface of your paint. And that's just on the low speed. Think about turning the polisher up to the higher speeds, and over a period of time, if you straighten out the motion that these fibers have made, I mean, you're stretching into miles depending on how long you've been working. So it kind of demonstrates how powerful the Rotary is when it comes to correcting. Let's move on to the next polisher, and we'll go to the one I left out yesterday. That wasn't on purpose. I do have all three for a reason. They all do have their place in the detailing community, and they are all used heavily. But let's get to the forced rotation polisher. This is a polisher that has not only the rotation, the forced rotation that a Rotary has, but it also oscillates at the same time, which does make it powerful. Moving on to the next polisher. By the way, the first one, just to mention what type it was a cheaper Harbor Freight Chicago Electric Rotary. You don't need anything expensive when it comes to a Rotary. They all are smooth. They don't make a ton of noise, and really the only differences between one to another, maybe the distance or the length of the cord, and a little bit of quality issues. With the Flex, this is the XCE8 EC Flex Polisher. This is a forced rotation, and it also has the oscillation. So let me put this up against the glass and follow the dot here, and you'll see the motion that it makes. So not only does it spin, but it oscillates. And those two movements at the same time make it a rather powerful tool. It takes a little bit longer to get used to it, to not get through the day without feeling worn out, especially if you're using the... What? You pooped in the refrigerator and ate a whole wheel of cheese? I'm not mad at you. I'm quite proud. Anyways, some different motions to get to the same result. Some take longer, some speed the process up. Let's move from this to the dual action polisher, and I'll show you the difference between this one and the next one. Okay, and now we have the pad on the, this is the Torque 22D. This has a 22 millimeter throw, and this has a larger throw, by the way, than the last flex polisher. You're going to notice that when we put this up against the glass. One difference, because it relies on momentum and inertia to get this to spin, because it doesn't have direct drive or forced rotation, it can stall. So during the process, I'm going to put some pressure on the polisher, which will relay itself to the backing plate and then the pad. It will stop the rotation and just have the oscillation. Some believe when you do that and a polisher stalls that there's no work getting done. That can't be further from the truth, because the rotation, yes, has stopped and maybe has cut the work in half, but it's still doing the oscillation, which is still getting work done. I want you to keep that in mind. Let's get this started and watch the motion that this makes. Okay, so it's spinning now. If I apply pressure, it really stops and slows down. Let's do it again. Without pressure, with pressure. So there you go. That gives you a better idea of how the polisher teams up with the pad, and then in return teams up with a correction fluid of your choice to correct paint. Okay, that will do it for today's video. I hope that gave you more insight into how polishers and the motions that they make with pads attached correct your paint. And again, it's so odd to think about. We're correcting paint by abrading and scratching the surface. That's how we shave it down and get rid of topical imperfections. If you have any more questions, just leave them down in the comment section. I hope this was helpful. Brian from Apex Detail. Catch you in the next video.